Jewel, I wanted to get you a present.
When?
On my way out here, I stopped at this boutique to get you a present, you know, like for spring.
Why didn't you?
Because even after 5 months, I still don't know what you like.
I like anything. You bought me a nice Christmas.
Oh, that was nothing.
You don't have to buy me nothing ever. Just be around me. You want to go over to Jean's?
No, I don't think so, honey.
I'm supposed to be over there cleaning it up.
I don't like you cleaning up Jean McBain's house, Jewel.
Why not?
Because I don't want my girlfriend to be somebody's maid.
I'm not her maid, but I spend so much time over there, I ought to help clean it up.
Well, you spend too much time over there, really.
A lot of times I'm over there because I'm waiting for you to come out and see me.
But all those guys, those fellas at Jean's, they could be anybody. You know her crowd.
Fine, I won't spend so much time over at Jean's. Hey, how come you don't ever wear that thing?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Because when I was little, my wrist was so tiny I couldn't wear a wristwatch. There was no band small enough. Even if there was, it would just hang over the sides of my wrist. I never did get used to wearing one. Please don't tell anybody I told you that.
I won't. Tell me more things like that. Tell me everything about you.
No.
I wish I could have ridden your motorcycle across country with you last year, and you could have told me everything.
Well, why didn't you?
Because I didn't know you then, that's why. Did you really pick peas in Illinois?
I sure did. It was the longest day of my life.
I think you better stop looking for ways to drop out of school and start finding ways to stay in. Is your motorcycle still in that ditch in, what state was it in?
About Kansas.
That watches Alphabet, doesn't it?
Makes me feel like I'm handcuffed or something.
You just have to get used to it.
Say,
Hey, what are you doing out here?
saw your car. Did I see you?
I'm going. Are you coming over to Jean's later to see me?
Oh, you know I will. Even when I don't want to, I do. Even when I have other things to do, I do.
Larkin, I've met this guy Sproles in. His brother's an undercover police officer, right? Who finagles himself to be hired by this wife to blast her old man for her. So he goes over to her house, and she pays him half up front. And the other half will come later when he finishes his job. But Sproles' brother, who's really this undercover police officer, keeps asking, does she really, really want it done? She's like, you're damn right I do. But he keeps asking her. I guess that's what they have to do, so when they don't actually do it, they have a better case against them.
What are you talking about?
So she says, I just don't want you to kill him. I want you to kill him slow. She describes how she wants him first shot in a painful, non-fatal place, then finish him off. But Sproles' brother keeps asking her, does she absolutely want it done? And just before she's on the brink of suspicion, he identifies himself and arrests her for conspiracy to commit murder, or some such other charge. I don't know.
Oh man, where the hell did you hear that?
Jean McBain's. It's a revolving door over there. This guy Sproles blows in with all these stories to tell.
Well, I don't believe that story.
So the wife's arrested and thrown in the cooler. And this guy comes down and does her bail for her. And he takes her home and, they sleep together. He fucks her. The next morning, she gets up and makes him breakfast. You know who this guy is? Her husband. The same son of a bitch she wanted to die slowly with intense pain. Hey, what's not to believe in that?
Oh man, I don't buy that.
I mean, Larkin, listen. Lies and treachery. I mean, he still insists on carrying on with her.
It sounds to me like somebody likes to make up stories because his brother's a cop.
Larkin, man, you burn me up. You're one of those people who believes in what he wants to believe in. But I've got something about Jewel you better believe.
Look, I don't want to talk about Jewel with you.
Larkin, if she's such a touchy thing, you gotta think about that.
Look, every time you say something about Jewel, you make something very clear.
I hadn't even said anything yet.
Every time, and you know what it is?
No.
That you lust for her.
Hey!
Hey!
No, just wait a minute.
Every time you say something, it's clear.
Larkin, I'm gonna say something about Jewel, and you better listen. And if you're gonna walk out in the middle of it, I'm gonna say it anyway.
You can say anything you want to.
Larkin, Jewel is married.
She's what?
She's married.
Jewel is married.
Yes.
She's a married woman.
Oh, that's another thing. She's not a woman. She's not 19. She's 16. She's a girl.
She's 16, man.
She said she's 16 and she's married.
You're wrong.
No, I wish I was. That's why I called you out here to tell you that.
Well, who else thinks they know she's married?
Jean and Moa McBain. Sproles says you can ask them.
Man, I don't believe it. If she's married, then where's her husband? Because I'm with her morning, noon, and night, 7 days a week now for 5 months.
He's in the Navy.
Oh, now he's in the Navy. Is that right?
His name is Green, and he's one mean son of a bitch, but for your sake, he's in the Navy.
Oh, man, I don't believe any of this.
Larkin, you better start believing somebody. Somebody besides Jewel.
Well, look, I'm crazy about
You
it.
just think you're crazy about it.
I am.
But you're not. You
Well,
just think you are.
Well, what's the fucking difference?
Hey, is that the watch Ellis Price gave you? With her, you refused to put it on. And now you do?
Well, Jewel put it on. You know, something's bugging me about you.
Yeah, what?
Just something. It just bugs me about you.
Well, I'd like to know what it is.
Or would you?
Yeah.
Well, you never finished high school.
You didn't finish college.
Yeah, but I'm working on finishing college. I took this quarter off so I'd have more time to spend with you. But I'm working on finishing college.
Well, I'm working on finishing high school.
You see? Whenever I try to say anything, you argue with me.
What do you want me to do about it?
Well, don't argue with me, number one. And how come you're such good friends with Laurel?
She lives next door to me.
She's 15 years old.
Well, I can't help that.
You think I could be friends with anybody 15 years old? Do you think we'd have anything in common other than being members of the same species?
Fine, I won't ever talk to Laurel again.
Sure, make me the villain. Because, you know, Laurel's mother, Jean, is a sad case. She's a whore, and you know it.
She's been awful good to me.
And how come you call her Jean? She ought to be Mrs. McBain, too. She's like 39 or 40 years old.
Well, I'm not going to call her Mrs. McBain, because we're close and we're friends, and she treats me like an equal to her. And how many friends you got? You got to call him mister.
Look, I'm telling you right now not to raise your voice to me.
Look, is something bugging you about me?
You bet it is.
Well, then we don't got to go on seeing each other.
You know, I doubt I could ever teach you anything.
Yeah, what do I need to learn?
Everything.
Says you.
Look, nobody is your friend.
Who?
Oh, nobody. Look, you think they are, but they aren't.
And that includes you.
No, if it included me, I wouldn't tell you, okay?
I don't know.
Well, I'm telling you.
What are the other questions?
Before I get to that, this no friends idea is something I want you to swallow. No, because I want you to be an adult. I want you to realize that if you have to turn to somebody, you can't. Or you can turn to me. Look, what I'm saying is, you can't turn to Laurel. She's 15 years old, for Christ's sake. You can't turn to her mother, Jean. She's 40 years old. She runs a house like a goddamn train station. Guys and girls in and out all the time. So you can't turn to her. So what you do is you turn to me. Jewel, if I ask you a question, you answer it. And if I ask you another one, then you answer that one too.
First, I want to tell you something.
Okay, what?
I have to remember the day I was born.
Well, what happened?
It was a special day because my daddy was, well, he
He was what?
was beating a woman up just as I was coming out of my mama's vagina.
What?
You heard me.
He was beating a woman up.
Just at the moment I was being born.
Well, he was beating up some woman other than your mother, right?
Of course. What are you, brain damaged?
No, are you?
No.
Well, look, who was it? Or, well, what I want to know is, how do you know that?
How do I know what?
That it was at that moment that he was beating the woman up.
Because I determined it from all that was said. I know I was born at 8:05 a.m., and from the woman's testimony, he spent the night there, woke up, and beat her up. I swear it.
Okay, look, I realize that being raised up around all that, well, that affected you.
It doesn't matter.
But Jewel, I still have something to ask you.
What?
Look, how old are you?
Well, I'm not 16 years old, if that's what you've heard.
What?
What else?
I don't get it.
What else?
Well, let me see your driver's license.
You don't trust me, do you?
How do I know if I trust you or not?
I lost it.
Where?
I was driving Mama's car and somebody bumped into me. Me driving Mama's car, and of course everybody blamed me. So Mama took my license away. Now what else do you want to know?
Well, I want to know if you're married because... All right, then. No. Look, how old are you, and yes or no?
You don't think I'm smart enough to be going out with, do you? Or no, just smart enough for you.
Jewel,
Because they're cracking me about my high school.
look, I said you hadn't finished high school, and I'll tell you straight, it bothers me. But that's not the two questions I asked you, now is it? Hey, Martin. Hey, what's up? Did you bring him with you?
Yeah, I brought him.
Oh, man, you could have brought me a lawyer instead of that guy.
I've talked to a lawyer, my cousin. He can get you the annulment for a couple $100.
A couple $100?
He'll get it annulled almost like it never existed.
$200?
We just listen to Sproles first.
What do you say, Sproles?
I'll tell you what I say.
Sproles here knows Green, and he knows Jewel too.
You do?
Larkin, right?
Yeah.
First thing you gotta remember that what you're so tore up about, well, it's not the most important, what do you call it on Earth? It doesn't hold a candle to, what is the most important question there is?
On Earth?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know, Sproles.
You just listen to him. He's a fifth-year senior.
Look, am I leaving?
The most important question there is, or ever was, has to be, what was there before there was anything? Before there was anything at all. Even before there was that one small thing, smaller than an atom. What was there?
I don't know. How the hell should I know?
I don't know either. Or at least I don't know until some mathematician comes up with the answer.
Well, some mathematician. Why is that?
Well, because they're the smartest people.
I don't know about that. I had an art history teacher last quarter. I'd have to say very smart.
Look, I'm not saying your art history teacher was not intelligent.
No?
Not at all. Although don't be suckered into believing that information is... Look, information is not smart. Somebody yaks all day about Roman counter-reformation art doesn't make them smart. Caravaggio used light in different intensities. So what? Am I smart now? No. Smart is you put ideas together. You think things through to their logical solutions or conclusions. This in its purest form is mathematics. 1 plus 1 is 2 is the, eventually you understand the slope-tangent relationship to the changing curve direction.
What does this have to do with me?
Because I know there are other issues. Look, I'm not stupid. I know there are smaller but still important questions. I mean, take some carpenter. He learns how to drive a nail. He learns what a so-and-so joint is. He builds a house. He's moving along in the scheme of things here. But he's got this wife, and she's smooching the mailman, and his son's in some school somewhere for the retarded. These problems are important to this half-ass carpenter. Just like you have problems that are important to you, Larkin. I'd just like to see you keep them in perspective, that's it.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
Oh, come on, now don't get defensive.
Look, I'm not getting defensive.
See, I learned perspective early. No, I'll tell you how. When I was a boy, we lived in this real sloppy little white frame house. You weren't proud of it. You weren't proud of it one bit. So we pile into the car, my family, and we drive around to the rich parts of town to see these new houses and shit like these rich-ass split-level 3-car garage long, no motherfucking colonial homes. Where all these rich-ass people lived, where they bedded down after they did something probably like play ping-pong in their den, And maybe somebody's got a teenage son, and he's got a basketball court out back or something, and it's all paved and level and lit up at night. We view this, my family, these places and activities of the well-to-do. First, you're sort of thrilled by it. And then, you find yourself in the throes of depression. So before we drive home, well, we don't drive directly home. Nope. My dad, he drives us around to the poorest parts of town. He shows us the shittiest shacks and dumps he can find, where the trash lived, where they lived in these terrible dumps and conditions. This was to bring us down to earth. This was to bring us down from Fantasyland. So when we pull into our own dirt driveway, well, we feel pretty good. Pretty good, not great. But better than if we only had those beautiful, rich-pitted places in our mind's eyes.
Well, I had an experience at a rich girl's house once.
Fine. Just keep it in perspective. That's all I'm saying. But for now, you have other problems. I know Green, and I know his wife, your girlfriend, Jewel.
What do you know about them?
Well, let's start with Green.
Yeah, well, he's in the Navy. I know that.
Yeah, he's in Norfolk, Virginia. Today, that is.
Not tomorrow?
I'm gonna start talking about the guy. I'm gonna use some words here.
Hey, did you hear that?
I'm saying you're not gonna like some of the words I'm gonna use. You've been dipping her and all. Let's start with Green. Green, first of all, Green is scum. Green's the kind of scum, he's 10, 12 years old. He tells all his friends to steal from their mother's pocketbooks. Then, when his own mother's getting dressed, he charges them all outside her window to watch. That's the earliest story I have about this sewage, Green. He's in the Navy now because he murdered at least 2 people that I know of. Killed them. The investigations heat up, get close to him, he joins the Navy, gone. You ask my brother if there's any questions about what I'm telling you.
Yeah, just ask his brother.
You're trying to tell me that Green is
Yes.
the murderer?
And don't ask me any details. I'm going to tell you some spot on Blue Lake you're going to go digging. Go ahead. The only way you can leave me out of this is I don't say nothing. Now, Jewel. Jewel is just lowlife. Without that body built like she is, no one would even go near her. She's what? She's 16 years old.
No, that's not so.
Dumb as a paperweight, almost impossible to get along with. Crass, crazy, lazy, wild as a bug. That's Jewel. I know about you.
Oh, and what do you know about me?
I know all about you, Larkin. How you met her. How you met her over at Jean McBain's and how she kept on putting you off, putting you off, putting you off, till it's coming out of your ears. And then she lets you drag her down into the basement. Lets you pump her like she's a virgin or something.
Look, I don't know how you know all that.
Oh, I know you don't. Because you are sad. Ask yourself, how could I know this?
Jewel? Jewel, she told you?
No. Jewel didn't tell me. She wouldn't talk to me. I wouldn't talk to her. Laurel. Jean's daughter, Laurel, she told me. Because Jewel told her.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Well, they're friends, Jewel and Laurel. Friends talk.
This guy looks for ways to be blind. Of course friends talk. What else are they gonna do? What I'm suggesting is that they were laughing at you, okay?
Look, I can stand here and almost believe you. But I know Jewel has a strong feeling for me. Very strong.
Because she sees a chance in you. You have the breeding.
I don't have any breeding.
I know you don't, but compared to her you do. Look, what am I saying? Forgive me for speaking in code. Get rid of her. She'll strap you, kid. Be smart.
See, that's why I brought Sproles out here. Why should you get more and more involved in this mess? This get her a lawyer and an annulment. First it's one thing, then it's going to be another.
Annulment. Do you know what the word annulment means?
Yeah, I do know what annulment
He
means. Will
means-
you just shut up?
He means Green married her.
Well, look, that's been admitted to me. She admitted that.
He didn't date her, marry her, and then go off to the United States Navy without having sex with her. Lies.
I mean, with that body, you don't marry her for a political philosophy, you know what
Oh,
I'm
will
saying?
you let me get my own thoughts straight? God, just shut up.
Tipton's cousin will get you an annulment. Okay, even though the marriage has been, say, carried out. That's easy enough. Everybody just lies. They fuck the truth and they lie their pants off. And you, my friend, go on. One step at a time. Down. Down in some abyss with her. Or maybe I've helped you. I don't know.
Jewel, come in here. Here it is.
Where'd you get it?
I came up with it.
Is it from your savings?
Savings? What savings? You know I sell popcorn at the hot rod races. I don't have any savings. I had to borrow it from my mother.
Did you tell her what it was for?
Oh, yeah, sure. Mom, can I borrow $200 for my girlfriend's annulment? No, she didn't have it. She had to borrow it from her sister. That's all anybody in my family has ever done. Scrape, scrape, scrape it up. Work for somebody else and scrape up what they throw you.
Well, what are you going to do?
My brother works every day.
So does my mother.
And so does my father. 12 o'clock, the whistle blows, down to the plant cafeteria to eat. Whistle blows again, and you better be back where you're supposed to be. The job you do, you hate it. Your hair's falling out on you. You got a rash on your body like the mange or something. You might as well be in prison. Not me. I'm not going to prison.
Well, then what are you going to do?
And the thing is, my mother, she just watches these men in her life pull these life sentences.
You never did bring me out to meet your parents.
Well, that's going to take a while to do.
Why?
Because you don't understand, that's why.
I understand. You're ashamed of me.
Ashamed of you? I broke up with Alice Price to spend time with you. I borrowed money from my mother, creating this black mystery between her and I. I fought tooth and nail with both of them over you, Jewel, because there's stories about you. No, they're not ready to accept you. Not you yet. Not yet. Look, I'm sorry. I've created several games. Board games. I'm going to send them to Parker Brothers or maybe Milton Bradley. I've also created a toy, which I've already sent to the Transagram Toy Company. These are the kinds of things I'm talking about.
What?
Well, you think I'm having some great American nightmare, don't you?
What does it do?
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, you send them a toy, they agree to make it. They give you X amount of dollars for every one they sell.
That's pretty good.
That's very good. You know, once I sent a game into to Parker Brothers in Salem, Massachusetts. A small box with instructions on how to play it. And they sent me back a letter, and they were very encouraging to me.
You mean they bought your game from you?
No, they were encouraging.
Well, what did they encourage you to do?
To send more games. Look, did you ever play the Uncle Wiggily game, or Monopoly, or Clue?
Yeah.
Well, where do you think these games come from? They come from people like me. People who don't eat in the plant cafeteria. Look, if I was an engineer, do you know what I'd do? I'd design great, scary carnival rides. I mean, for all the carnivals in the world. I mean, somebody does it.
Well, go back to school, become an engineer, and do it.
No, that would take too long. I have to change my major, and there's math involved, and that's
Well,
not...
I'm good in math,
You are?
in arithmetic. I can't believe you didn't leave me when the truth come out. That's all I've ever known. People running out at me, pushing me around, letting me down.
Well, don't lie to me anymore. Don't pull any more stunts, Jewel.
I had to lie to you. I didn't want to lose you.
Lose me? You lied to me before you even had me.
But I wanted you.
Well, I wanted you too. I mean, look at you. I was leveled by you. Who wouldn't be?
If you found out I was married, you never would have stayed with me.
But if the annulment goes through,
What do you mean if the annulment goes through? Why wouldn't it?
do you know what annulment means? It means, in this case, that the marriage was never completed by sexual intercourse.
I never had sex with Green.
Does he know that?
I was too scared. You know how scared I was, even with you. I'm still not any good at it.
Oh, yes, you are.
Well, that's because I could finally do it with you because I liked you so much. I could never do it with Green. I hated Green.
But you married him.
That was just to get out of the house, away from that from that stepfather my mama married. Married her just to get to me, the only reason. How did I know he'd move in with his father and it turned out to be the same way?
Is that why you came home to live with your mom?
Very quick.
Well, how did Green take all that?
He was so mad. He was so mad he could kill, I swear it. But you started to say, if the annulment goes through, then what?
Well, if the annulment goes through, you'll be single.
I know it.
And pure.
I'm not pure.
Well, as pure as possible. You're too young to be anything else.
Hey, Larkin!
Yeah.
Larkin, listen. I need your help.
What do you want?
I bumped into these 3 babes. Did I say 3? Yes, I did.
Oh, what 3 babes?
Remember that girl Christy used to see some? And 2 of her friends, Ellen something and Bobo something else.
Ellen who?
What the hell's the difference, Ellen who?
Well, what about them?
Well, we're getting together with them. Oh, come on, man. Don't look at this as if I'm doing this for you. Look at it as if I'm doing it for me, please?
When?
Tonight. And don't make me say please again because it's already settled. Hey, and you won't be disappointed. Oh, and I brought you a blanket and a pillow.
Just give it to me.
And, I've got your mail.
Hey, let me see it. Oh, come on. Hey, this is from Transagram.
I know it.
I'll get to it later.
Why?
Look, is it a telegram? Does it say urgent, open now?
No.
Then I'll just get to it later.
I don't see how you can live in this place, man.
Why?
First of all, it doesn't even have a bathroom. Hey, did I ever tell you about, Maureen, whatever her name was?
Yeah, I think so.
You know, about her house, how clean it was.
No.
Her and her mother did it. They did it all the time.
They did what?
Cleaned. It was a study in hygiene. Spotless is not the word for it. I don't even know what the word was. Do you know what a typical Saturday night date was with Maureen? I'd get all cleaned up, and I'd go over to her house, go into her room, and we'd clean it. Even though it was already immaculate, we'd still clean. We'd dust, vacuum, Windex the blinds, polish, buff, and more than once we took a toothbrush to the bathroom tiles. Then we'd waller around in the bed for a while. We'd make out. I'd feel her up. Then when we were done, she'd change the sheets. Even though we never turned the bed down.
She was neurotic, man.
Hey, I didn't care. But you know something, Larkin? I loved it.
Oh, I think you're as crazy as she was.
No, not at all. I loved the cleanliness. It was like a magical land. She was so clean. Her fingernails, her ears, her feet, everything. And her clothes were always clean, her shoes. And Maureen smoked a lot of cigarettes. But you would never know it. You couldn't tell it in any way. She'd be smoking a cigarette. She'd flick the ashes into an ashtray, and they'd be gone the next second you look. Perfectly clean. You know, like Clint Eastwood's A Fistful of Dollars? You never saw where those little cigars came from. With Maureen, you never saw where her ashes went. They didn't sweep them under the carpet, that's for sure.
Hey, didn't she get married?
Yeah, Farragut, remember him?
Oh, yeah.
He was an utter slob, a total pig. But he had the Cadillac.
Yeah.
And that's what she wanted. They had a kid. I've often wondered how she dealt with diapers and everything that goes along with a puking kid.
Well, Tipton, you're 22 years old, and I think it's time you got over it.
Hey, I am over her.
Look, you know, I saw this guy once. He was saying goodbye to somebody, and he was crying.
Hey, don't let me see a man crying, ever.
Oh, no, man, you don't understand. Look, he was crying because he wouldn't always remember her the way he did that day. Look, he'd always feel the same way, but the memories would fade. They'd all start to blur on him. It's a way your mind has of letting go. It's a natural letting go.
That's good.
Yeah, well, it's a safety, you know.
Snatch.
Yeah, it's for protection.
Hey, are you talking about me and Maureen?
Yeah, that's all.
Hey, am I crying here?
I kind of think so, yeah. Might as well get to it.
Well, what's the news?
Well, it's very encouraging. They're very encouraging.
You keep at it, Larkin, man. Just let all those creative juices flow out of you. I know they will. I'm sure that's one of the reasons I like you.
You know what? Do you remember that rat trap I converted to a catapult?
Yeah. We shoot various missiles and spitballs and stuff?
That's right. I think I'm going to take it out and redesign it. Yeah.
Larkin, how long are you going to live out there?
Why?
Your parents found out, didn't they? They found out you bummed the money so you can buy Jewel out our marriage. They throw you out?
No, they didn't throw me out. I just left.
So you came out here to be close to the one that's doing this to you.
Doing what?
I don't know, just look at this place. This place you're in. Isn't it eye-opening how everything gets harder? Nothing's easy. Everything's hard.
There you were over at Jimmy Baines, sipping a tall glass of bourbon. Not bourbon in anything, just a tall glass of bourbon and not even ice. And there I was, this engaged guy, engaged to this perfect Alice Price.
I knew you were engaged. Somebody told me.
Who?
But I didn't care. All I knew was, I knew I'd felt something I'd never felt before. So yeah, I schemed a little bit. I'm not afraid to admit it. Lots of people do that.
Well, you schemed just beyond scheming now. You lied to me and deceived me and things like that.
Well, but did you want... No, you go ahead and talk.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wanted you if that's what you mean. I mean, who wouldn't? Look at it. I was leveled by you.
I was leveled by you too.
Good, that's all. But then I started hearing all these notorious things about your home life.
Everybody talks about me. You'd think I was famous. Bad talk gets around like flies carried all over the place or something.
And then I asked you if I could have a sip of your Coke. Well, I found out it wasn't Coke. I'm sorry I spit in your face.
I didn't mind.
You know, I should have known something about you then and there.
What?
The girl that'd be drinking bourbon at 11 o'clock in the morning. Look out, 'cause she's trouble.
I just come over from the house next door because my stepfather laid down in bed with me and put his arm around me.
In bed? What were you doing in bed at 11 o'clock in the morning?
I was tired, okay?
I already had 2 classes by then.
Well, good for you.
Those were the days I went to school.
Don't blame me for nothing.
Oh, look, I'm not blaming you for anything.
Go to school for the rest of your life for all I care. Just don't blame me for nothing. That's all anybody ever does.
Look, just hush. I'm not blaming you.
You just don't like school. You're too antsy. Me too.
Look, did I say hush? From the moment I saw you, I couldn't figure out why none of those other guys had hit on me. I guess maybe they had, whether they knew you were married or not. But I thought that we were... Damn it, Julie, you sent out these rays and they wrapped me up in sticky heat and got me numb and stupid. But I had to go see Alice and break the news to her. When word got back to me, she threw a ring in the Holston River. But I didn't care because there was you, and my gauges were spinning around like a laboratory.
I gotta go. Mama's taking me to see that lawyer guy.
Well, don't worry about it, and don't be scared.
I'll try not to.
Yo, Larkin.
Yeah. Did Tipton send you out here?
No, man. I came out here because, well, there's not a formal philosophy, like, say, hedonism, I don't guess, but a way of thinking, and a good one.
What's hedonism again? I forgot.
Well, it's that pleasure is the only, good. The primary good, anyhow.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
But I said there was another thing. This is it. Finish something before you move on to something else. Okay, say like you're studying for a botany test you got coming up, but you also got this French assignment. So, you finish studying your science, then you move on to your language.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I do that all the time.
Sure. Okay, so how far do we carry this to say we're getting dressed? Then we're not going to read a book and get dressed at the same time. Why?
Because we'll screw it up.
That's right. We'll be driving to school one green sock, one blue one.
Yeah, well, that's just common sense. I know that.
Right. But do you carry to say you're putting on your shoes? I mean, you put on one shoe, you tie that shoe before you go on to the next one? Because pretty soon we're going to get fanatical about this. We'll be brushing, one tooth at a time.
Yeah, you'll be driving yourself nuts in the process.
Anything you take too far eats you alive.
Yeah, I understand all that.
Okay. All right. So let's apply this to a certain aspect of the Jewel. You don't have to finish with her before you move on. Mark.
Look, who says I'm moving on?
You don't have to marry every 16-year-old girl who catches your eye.
And who says I'm getting married?
Tipton's afraid you might.
Oh, Tipton, look, I've got no such plans. No such plans at all.
But you're still afraid to drop her and move on until all her problems are worked out. Until she's cherry. Until she's cherry like some 57 Chevy restored. You'll never do it, man. It's impossible. What? No, nobody's gonna say you're a hedonist, Larkin. And if they do, who are they but somebody self-righteous? So I see you're starting to make this place a little bit more homey, adding little touches here and there. I got this girl I know out in the state of California. So I write her a letter. I swear, it took 10 days to get there. What do you think about that?
I don't know, something probably went wrong.
Maybe. Maybe something went wrong, Lucky. Or maybe that's just the way it is. In 1860, you could send a telegram or a letter from St. Joe, Missouri, all the way to Sacramento, California. Pony Express. You know how long it took? 10 days, maybe less.
Pony Express.
Pony Express. 10 days. Now, a rider, he'd ride into one of those lonely old stations. He'd dismount, saddlebags, new horse, mount up, gone. 2 minutes. You know how old these riders were, Larkin? Young like us, younger even. 18 years old, the average. Riding for their lives.
Yeah, because there was Indians.
That's right.
And blizzards and sandstorms.
And all they did was ride like hell. Day and night. And the only thing you're thinking about, Larkin, is a fresh horse. That's all you're thinking about.
Well, what about engines?
Well, engines are out there, but you can't think about that. Can't worry. You can only think about what you need. And what you need is a fresh animal.
Because otherwise you're dead.
Otherwise, you're dead.
Look, I'm not 18 anymore. My Pony Express days are over.
Pony Express days are not over. What is it? Mark my words about something, and then I gotta go to class. Someday, you're gonna be standing out over a low plateau in the Badlands of Nevada, looking out over this great plain, and come running by, there's gonna be a herd of wild mustangs. First, you're gonna hear this rumbling, and then you're gonna turn around and see them. 1 million of them. Some of them red, some of them yellow.
Pintos and Appaloosas.
Oh, so beautiful. These long, thick manes flopping around. All wild, all running by you in this brilliant flash. Now I gotta go to class.
Uh-oh. What do you got, Sproles?
Well, general health.
What are you doing taking general health?
Because I did not take it when I was a freshman, when it was required. So now I gotta take it. I'm a fifth-year senior, or I don't graduate.
Man, that must be humiliating.
The good thing is the girls. You see, you're surrounded by all these young, smart, healthy, frisky freshman animals. They idolize you. You wanna come with me?
No.
Out of my health class?
No, I can't go to any class right now.
You feel like you're in a corral with these wild ponies, which is just where you need to be.
No, I gotta wait for somebody.
Oh, come on.
Jewel, did you see the lawyer? What did he say?
You're in a pit, kid. Somebody throws you the end of a rope, and you tie it around your fucking neck.
You know, I was thinking, so many poor people live out here in the country. Poor old country people. Backward is no name for it. They're uneducated, they're frustrated, and frankly, they're spooky. A lot of times their front teeth are crooked and decayed. Their hair is stringy, Not always, but enough. And they're dirt poor, every damn one of them.
I'll tell you how my daddy made about $1 million.
Really? How?
Because it seems so simple. You'd think anybody could do it. Why, when I think about this country and economics and having just a little bit of self-go-get-em, I can't understand why everyone over the age of, say, 32 is not very wealthy.
In the first place, everybody doesn't want to be wealthy.
What is that supposed to mean?
Not everyone thinks it's all that important, Ellen.
Oh, okay, Bobo. But what's more practical to talk about? The standard or the rare exception. There are rare exceptions to everything, granted, but you can't base your whole way of living on them. Fuck them.
Well, how did your daddy make about $1 million from build you that great house you've got?
My daddy?
Yeah.
Well, there's no secret to it. There's nothing mystical that happens. You work away every day. You work for somebody else. You work in the plant. You work in shipping. You work in sales. You work in pricing. That's right, everywhere. Why, you aren't rich. All you do is make a living. Why, junior year in high school, your daughter doesn't even make cheerleader because you're not rich enough. But you're learning the printing business, and you're meeting people, big people in publishing. And you're plotting, and you're handpicking 3-4 people to go with you, and they go with you because they like you. And you buy that old barn out on the pike and convert it and open your own printing business. And 10 years later, after everything's history, you're a millionaire, and you've got a great house with an indoor pool and a tennis court. But don't kid yourself. We earned every penny of it.
Well, I don't know why you think everybody can do that.
Well, because my daddy is not that smart. Oh, I mean, he's smart, but, you know, he's average. What I'm saying was that it was his personality more than anything else. Well, he worked really hard, but if he hadn't had his personality, if people hadn't liked him, why, I don't know what.
So you're saying if people are just nice?
I think so. I really think so. They can make it big.
How do you explain that so many very rich people are assholes?
Well, to explain that?
Yeah.
Well, they become assholes.
You mean just because they...
Yes, they're nice, but then that starts closing in on them. Everybody wants your money. Everybody wants to spend it for you. Everybody's jealous as hell. Why, everybody wants to come over to your house and swim in your pool. I wouldn't be surprised if half of them don't piss in your indoor pool just out of it's not their own.
Oh, Ellen, tell Bobo what you said about money. I think that's so good.
What?
Well, what you said about having money.
Oh, I said, once you have money, you never want to go back.
Yeah.
It's from an old sex joke, I think. Something about, I don't know.
You know, I just suddenly started feeling a little bit eerie out here.
Well, they'll be back.
I know, but well, I wish they'd be back soon. I swear I didn't know guys were so much like us, and that when one of them goes to do something, the other has to go along.
Well, I think guys are more like that than girls.
You do?
Yes.
Who are you all?
Who are you?
Where's Larkin at?
They went somewhere. They'll be back.
Tell Larkin I gotta go meet somebody.
Who?
No, don't tell him anything. Anybody got a cigarette? Mind if I flop a minute?
I've been smoking since I was less than a year old.
Since you were how old?
Less than a year old. People in my family used to hold lit cigarettes up to my mouth. You know, the ones they were smoking. And I'd draw on them like there was a bottle of milk. I've been smoking since I was less than a year old. I've been addicted that long. Shit, the things people will find to do to you. Or no, like, there was this guy out walking.
Who?
No, just this guy out walking in his path up there in Holston River. And up ahead of me, there's this little girl on a bike. But there's this gang. And they push her off her bike and bend her spokes all up for her and rip her seat apart with a pocket knife. And just running around in the red mud, she slips and falls in the river. But our guy, he's running to catch up to her, and he jumps in the fucking water and grabs hold of her. But our guy can't swim too good, and the little girl can't swim hardly at all. So they're both drowning.
What about the gang on the bank?
Shit on that bunch, they're just laughing. And the guy and the girl and the river's rushing them along. And the guy can't hold on much longer. He's got to save himself. So he pushes her away from him, and grabs onto this old fallen down tree trunk in the water. Because he has to save himself.
And the little girl? What?
She bangs her head into some goddamn rocks, and when they pull her out of the water, she's dead. But she doesn't die of drowning. She dies of internal head bleeding. Crazy fucking things happen to you.
They can, yes.
But our guy will probably never forget that little girl he didn't save.
He couldn't save her.
But he'll never forget her, will he?
Where did you hear all that shit?
Somebody told me. I got some places I can go look for Larkin. Don't tell nobody I was smoking, will you, Matt?
I wonder who she thinks she is.
I don't know.
Some poor old girl who lives around here. She might be a loon or something.
Well, is she gone?
Yeah, I think she just disappears.
What do we know about these two guys anyway?
It's a fine time to start asking.
Oh, I know about Tipton. When Bobo and I were renting that house last semester, I was dating Tipton a little bit then. A funny thing happened.
What happened?
What?
You don't remember? Oh, Jesus. Tipton and I were in the living room on the couch one night, doing it. And you were home, you were in the bedroom trying to sleep, but of course you couldn't.
No.
And then after Tipton left, I came into the bedroom and I felt so good. And you said you're so lucky.
So?
Well, I told Tipton that.
Told him what? What I said?
Yeah, that you said I was lucky, and she said you were lucky. He couldn't get that. He couldn't understand it.
Why? I don't get it either. Understand what?
Well, guys don't realize that we consider ourselves lucky when we get laid, Ellen.
They don't?
Just like they consider themselves the same way. I'd have to say he was taken aback. And I'd have to go further. I think he thought less of me after that.
What makes you think so?
Well, because first of all, he got real cool and hostile when I told him. And second, that was the last time I ever saw him.
Until he called this evening?
The last time.
Well, it doesn't surprise me at all, because they have to feel conquering. If they don't feel conquering, they feel conquered. Look at it as anything in nature.
Oh, what nature, Bobo?
Anything. Anytime there's at least two, there has to be a leader, Christy. One in control, one stronger than the other, one who makes the decisions on the important stuff, and one who will the other ones look up to.
I don't know.
Okay, take two lions. She's responsible for the food, for taking care of the babies, but is she the one the couple looks to?
Well, no.
No, the male. All you have to do is look at the two of them together to see it. If there's any conquering to be done, he's going to do it.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm not saying that people are like lions. We're above that. But I am saying that everywhere you look, somebody's getting a divorce.
Well, are you saying that guys like Larkin and Tipton and guys in general should feel like they're getting more out of it?
Sex?
Yes.
I don't know, Ellen. They can feel whatever they want to. So can I.
But I thought Tipton would feel good about hearing you say I was lucky. But he didn't. It was like he resented it. Or that suddenly he thought we were just a couple of whores, a couple of student whores, living in a house off campus.
Why did you even drag us out here, Christy?
Well, I wasn't under the impression that I dragged anybody.
Well, you did.
I liked him a little bit, Bobo.
Even though he made us feel the way you just said.
That was months ago.
Well, I do not feel, I must admit, dragged. I just don't. But that's me.
What do we know about this Larkin guy anyway?
Absolutely nothing.
Well, who is he to have this girl running after him?
I don't know.
Well, I think I know who Larkin is, if it's the same one I'm thinking about. About 2 years ago one summer, this kid went traveling around in an old truck. I mean old truck. It was an embarrassment. And it was red. And he drove around in it cutting people's grass. I think he had a business or something, I don't know. I guess he thought he was enterprising. Well, anyway, in the back of this truck he went driving around, he had his lawnmower. And one day he came to our door, and I was home, so I answered it.
What did you do?
Well, I answered it. Well, and he asked us if our lawn needed mowing. It sort of didn't know, but regardless, I hired this Larkin to cut the grass. And I took him out of Pepsi once, and we talked a little bit. And I asked him to stay around after he finished the job and go swimming. And he did. And we were having a good time. And then my daddy came home with some people from New York City and caught us.
Got you? What were you doing?
Well, just swimming in the pool and about to play some tennis.
Well, what was there to catch anyway, Ellen?
No. Daddy hates it when people have been messing up all the stuff we got and messing around the house when he's brought people over to show it off. Everything has to be just perfect when he's going to show it off, see? And we had splashed some water on the side and a couple of towels thrown around. It has to look like Better Homes and Gardens or he's all pissed off. And this beat-to-hell red truck in the driveway. and I guess Larkin hadn't put his mower away. It was sort of a piece of shit mower. My daddy has that you sit down on it and ride around kind. Well, anyway, Larkin left, and I never saw him again. That was 2 summers ago.
And this Larkin is the same one, this Larkin that left here with Tipton a few minutes ago?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
You don't know? What are you,
How
dead?
did you not know?
You want me to tell you why?
Yes, I do.
Because 2 years ago, I think I was asleep.
Hey!
Hey, you're back. Hello.
Larkin, some other odd girl came by to see you.
I thought you told Julie you weren't going to see her tonight. I did! You didn't tell her too well, did you?
When did she come by?
A couple minutes ago.
Did she say if she was going to come back?
Didn't say.
But for a minute ago, did you think you were asleep?
Yes.
Explain that.
Well, not too long ago, I heard that somebody was asleep until he was, I don't know, 29 or 33 years old.
Who the hell said that?
I think Henry James.
I got news for you. It was said not too long ago because Henry James is dead.
No, I heard it not too long ago.
Then say that.
What did you hear?
Well, that somebody was asleep or unconscious for much longer than you think possible. Well, maybe it wasn't Henry James. I don't remember.
Explain.
Well, I think there was a time in my life when I was asleep too. Like 2 summers ago. I was walking through life.
Sleepwalking.
Yes. People were not individuals.
Well, then who were they, Ellen?
Well, nobody was special. They were just somebody else. Experiences were not individual experiences. Everything was clumped together on top of each other, and nothing more important than anything else. Nothing meant anything, and I didn't learn anything. I studied for tests and I passed them, but that too was just going through the motions, but not learning. Why, I remember this test in world history when I was a freshman. Compare and contrast 2 certain civilizations, and I read the question, and I started writing, and I wrote and wrote. But then when I got my blue book back 2 days later, it was like a foreign language. It's Swahili on my desk here. I couldn't remember a word of what I wrote. Why, I couldn't write it again if my life was counting on it. In those days, people talked to me, and I even talked to them, but I was just...
Talking in your sleep.
You sound like you know what I'm talking about.
I do?
So some face comes to my house and mows the lawn. Some face fucks around in the pool with me for a few minutes. Some face and me, we have a few laughs. It didn't matter who it was. It could have been anybody.
What are you looking for?
Oh, you don't know.
Herman Melville, that's who it was. Herman Melville.
Herman
Ooh.
Melville, huh?
This guy Green in a blue sailor suit.
Yeah, we're just leaving the store, and this guy pulls up a few cars over. This is the one guy Larkin needs to avoid, but he's back in town. But we're in Larkin. He's not going to come all the way up here.
Hey, did I say I was worried?
He don't care about you or anybody else who might screw around with her.
Why do you have to avoid him?
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. I've just been dating this girl who lives over the hill, and she's married to him.
Mary, and you didn't even know it?
Well, it was a misunderstanding.
Yeah, he understood she was telling the truth.
And this girl who came out here, she's not the married one, is she?
Well, she might be.
Are you serious with this girl?
No, you know how it is.
How?
He's not serious with her. He's just having fun with her.
Oh, and now the husband gets back in town, and we're what, called out here to mend somebody's broken heart?
No, you've got it all wrong, Bobo.
Well, you called us out here.
Yeah, to have fun.
Who do you think the 3 of us are? A bunch of desperate old housewives who just want to escape out somewhere and get laid?
Who said anything about getting laid? Yeah, Bobo, you're reading too deep into things.
What an odd assortment of things you 2 bought.
Well, we just went through and picked up anything that caught our eye.
Cherry bombs?
Yeah.
There won't be any sending off of cherry bombs now while I'm here.
Oh,
What is the fascination that people have with things that go boom?
Bobo,
Destruction is all people can think about.
Bobo, they're on sale, that's all.
But even that there are these stands to sell them. Firecrackers used to be illegal around here. What happened? That's always the way. They're illegal for 50 years, then suddenly, bang, fine, use them, do it. It's all perfectly legal. Well, who decides something's wrong one minute and right the next?
It's like adultery.
Well, what about adultery?
Well, consider you're making love to a woman, and everything's dandy. Then 10 minutes later, she gets married. Now, if you want to make love to her, it's adultery and illegal. That's how quickly things
Christy,
change.
that is not what I am talking about.
Yes, it is, Bobo.
I'm talking about rules. Rules that change arbitrarily. Christ.
And you know something along with that?
What's that, Ellen?
Well, I wonder how many guys I've dated, or even been intimate with who were also asleep. I mean, really conked out. And I thought we were on the same, well, at least in the same dimension, but we weren't. I guess it would be like if you were straight and you were with someone who was blasted, but you didn't know they were blasted, you thought they were straight. Then again, I suppose there are people who never wake up their whole lives.
They die in their sleep.
You do know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Hey, Bobo, did you have a bad experience with firecrackers once?
Well, I don't remember how old I was, but I wasn't old. I remember I was taking out the garbage, and when I lifted the lid, some hoodlum put a cherry bomb in my garbage can. It just blew. It blew like they do in a garbage can, like a cannon might go off. It blinded me for always in one eye. The metal garbage can slivers did it. It made me deaf, too, in the other ear. But did that really, really happen? Wouldn't you like to know? But it got your attention, didn't it? That's always the way. Something has to get your attention before anything. I can tell you right up front that if we fuck with those cherry bombs, somebody's gonna get hurt.
I wonder if it could turn out to be like religion.
If what could?
I'll consider that nobody believes in religion or God or anything anymore. We're all the time getting warned by this barrage of sermons and warnings all the time, and nobody's paying any attention. That if someday the heavens parted and Jesus H. Christ came out of the sky in his chariot, and we're all standing there with our mouths open like somebody who blew off a cherry bomb in our stupid faces.
She's right. We don't listen to anything. We don't listen to anybody. I don't know what we listen to.
We listen to music.
And each other.
Mostly music.
Why did you guys buy so many marshmallows anyway?
I don't know.
About 2 summers ago, did you have an old truck you drove around cutting people's grass?
Well, what do you think?
I'm asking you.
Well, I didn't think you remembered me.
You didn't?
Well, no. You didn't say anything.
Well, neither did you.
Oh, well, I wasn't going to say anything if you weren't. I mean, it was your house. And after all, I thought I did a good job on your lawn, don't you?
Well, I guess you did. All I remember is that you did it.
Something like that can have a devastating effect on a young man starting out in business. Did she tell you guys what happened?
Yeah.
No, what'd she say?
There's her old man. He comes in. All we were doing was in the pool, having a good time. And they're just walking around in their leather shoes, that, where the leather looks like hot fudge. It's so soft. Leering down at us. The pool is what, Pentelic marble you got over there?
No, it's plain old Tennessee marble.
Whatever. And then I go to leave and my truck won't start. So he's got to jump me off with his Thunderbird. The whole time he's standing there wishing he could throw battery acid in my eyes.
But he didn't.
Oh, what a great guy. But that's okay, because on my way home, I'm driving and I'm thinking to myself, you got to do something with your life that doesn't involve being bossed or humiliated by other people. And I decided that day, 2 summers ago, that I was going to start creating.
Creating what?
Well, in my case, games and toys.
So is that what you do now? Create?
Well, yeah, part-time.
Hey, Larkin. When I said I was going to have some girls over here, why didn't you tell me you knew Ellen?
Well, I don't know her.
Nobody decides to be creative.
Oh, no?
No, of course not. That's like a cherry bomb decides to go off. It doesn't decide anything. The fuse is lit, it burns down, it explodes. It explodes because that's its composition.
Yeah, well, somebody has to light the fuse. Somebody's got to light it. What I'm saying is I always had the instincts. I just never acted on them because, I thought you'd just grow up and go to prison, and that's just the way it is for life.
Prison?
Well, yeah, I like prison.
Hey, is that why you rode your motorcycle cross-country last year?
Why?
To prove you weren't in prison.
No, that was meaningless. It had no meaning. Look, what I'm trying to say is, excuse me, if you're not doing what you like, you might as well be in prison, no matter how fast you're riding.
What if you're doing what you love to do, but you're not any good at it?
Well, then kill yourself.
Oh, sure.
No, kill yourself trying to get good at it.
Bobo, I'll tell you one of your problems.
Hey,
You can't take things as they come. You're what gives us girls the name bitches, because listen to you bitching. That's where we get the name bitches, half the guys you run into. Please, don't bitch.
yeah, well, you little rich whore, you drive 100 miles in the snow if the ugliest guy in the world calls you up with a hard on.
Well, you're here, aren't you?
Well, maybe.
Well, fuck you.
Hit it! Whoa!
So be it. What are war like? You boys are too young to know what war is. Don't even realize that. What are you, a
Sweet. If I was going to be in a war, I'd want to be in the Civil War.
Yeah, but you could buy your way out of serving.
You could?
In the North, you could.
fantastic, Bobo. You're very smart.
Oh, I don't think so. Oh, big deal. Somebody knows the battles of the Civil War, the strategies, who won and why makes nobody smart. Longstreet fucked Lee at Gettysburg because he didn't obey his fucking orders.
Yeah.
Am I smart now?
No.
Well, that's my point.
Well, we needed some heavier artillery.
Hey, don't go for those cherry bombs. That's just like you guys.
Who said anything about cherry bombs? I meant pillows or something.
Pillows!
Jewel,
What?
what are you doing out here?
Can I see you outside?
Can't you tell me in here?
No, I can't.
Well, what is it?
I've been looking all over for you. I need to borrow your car to go meet Green.
You want to borrow my car to go?
Please.
Let's go outside.
This is some kind of mess, isn't it?
Totally.
For Christ's sake, what is it?
Well, I've already told you now.
You want to borrow my car to meet Green? You don't even have a driver's license.
I got it back.
Well, let me see it. How come your birth date is smudged?
I don't know.
Well, it is. Look here.
Look, are you going to help me or not?
Look, I thought I told you we weren't going to see each other tonight. God damn, you're ruining a perfect night for me, Jewel.
Look, are you going to let me borrow your car or not?
Here, take the car, okay? Be careful with it. Now, when are you going to be back?
In a few minutes.
Well, when?
In a little while.
Okay, just go.
And who are all those girls in there?
What, I can't even have friends now? You're married, but I can't have friends. I can't believe a girl as young as you would do something like this to me, Joel.
Tippy,
What?
do you remember the last night we were together? The last time?
When?
Well, when I told you something Bobo said.
No, I just remember we stopped seeing each other, but I don't know why.
Oh, yes, you do.
No, I just remember we just lost contact.
Oh, you must know how it happened and want to avoid talking about it, otherwise how would you know what I was leading up to?
You were?
You know I was. You sensed it.
Hey, I'm not a serious guy.
Explain that.
I guess I got the feeling you were wanting us to get very serious.
Oh, well, then that was just you, because there's not a serious bone in my body. Not towards you, anyway. Maureen was a serious one, wasn't she?
Maureen? What do you know about Maureen?
Clean Maureen?
Leave Maureen alone.
Just kidding.
Well, is the whole night ruined? What does everybody think?
No, nothing has to be ruined quite yet. Larkin, can't you control her?
Yes, I can control her.
You can't. I brought these highly attractive girls all the way out here, and you reciprocate by letting her act up in front of them.
Look, I didn't let her act up.
Well, she did. She always does. It's embarrassing.
Let's not worry about it.
See the attitude these girls have? They're great. Simply great. They've got some sense. At least they know the score.
Let's dump this choo-choo graveyard and go to a spot.
Where do we want to go?
I busted my ass trying to straighten you out. I don't even know why I bother.
Well, stop bothering.
No! You know why I bother? Because when you get our age, it's harder and harder to make friends, to find friends.
That's true.
So that's why I say you bust your butt trying to keep the ones you have. But don't take me on a limit on this, Larkin.
Look, Joe's going to be back in a
I've got
few
an idea.
minutes.
I don't care about that.
Why don't we go out to the airport and sneak out at the front end of the runway? That way when the jets come in, they're right on top of you. It's an unbelievable feeling. They only miss your head by a few feet.
It seems like a few feet.
Well, I think we have to do it.
I want to tell you girls, you guys are simply great. Wonderful. Larkin, let's go.
Look, I can't go.
Oh, why not?
Larkin, this could be the limit I'm talking about.
Look, I didn't know that Joel was going to do this. You know what? This was going to happen.
Larkin, listen to me. We're going to go out in the grass with these girls. It's going to be great. Just listen to me on that, okay?
Look, now it has happened, and I've got to stay here.
You don't have to stay anywhere. Where you have to be is at the end of the runway with us. That's where you have to be, you stupid son of a bitch.
Well, I'm not going to take sides.
You girls, take whoever's car you're going to take, and we'll be out in a minute, okay?
Well, hurry up.
We'll be out in a minute, all right?
I haven't done this in so long, but you can't beat it. You just can't beat it.
You guys hurry up, okay?
Sure. You stupid son of a bitch! Do you know what happens when we get the three of them out there at the end of the runway on a night like this? It's insane if you stay here. Insanity!
Look, I've got to stay here till she comes back with my car.
Listen, we have before us the kind of night you remember for the rest of your life. I'm telling you.
Look, I can't go.
God, will you just please fuck it, man? Just fuck it!
No!
Fuck it! She knew! She knew Green was coming home from Norfolk. But did she tell you? No. So you could be warned or prepared? No, you have to see him and have him pointed out to you. But you don't give her hell. You just accept it like some kind of goddamn robot. It's intolerable! You broke Alice Price into pieces just so you could devote yourself to Jewel. Alice Price was worth something. Jewel is worth shit. You're an asshole.
Can I have one of these? Fine, I won't have one.
I'm not shaking my head you can't have a friggin' soda. I'm shaking my head because I can't believe you. Or me with you, or I waited all fucking night long for you.
Then you don't even want to give me a chance to explain?
Chances? I gave you too many chances. You know, the whole 5 months I've known you, it's just been me slowly sliding into a hole. Because you don't have brain one, any social grace. And the only ones that wanted to be with us are ones of the same type, like Jean and her daughter Laurel. Hitting the bottom of the hole was finding out you were married. But I even tried to fit that in somehow. I just can't fucking believe this, Jewel. I was having a good night here. These people that were here, we had something in common. We had fun.
Oh, you never had fun with me.
I had fun with you, but not like last night. Last night was loose. No, there was just fun. We were all on the same fucking planet.
Well, what am I on, Mars?
As a matter of fact, you are on Mars. When was the last time we were together and somebody had an idea, Jewel? Never.
I can't talk to you. You make me all nervous inside with butterflies. But those girls that were here last night, I told them a whole story I'd heard over at Jean's. About this little girl who fell into the river and this guy who tried to save her, but he couldn't.
A story you heard at Jean's. We get together to talk. The only thing you can think of to say is something you heard somebody else say over at Jean's.
Well, I don't hear you no brilliant conversation.
Jewel, don't argue with me. Jesus Christ, you know, all this time, I'm getting the feeling that I'm only making my decisions based on sex and sympathy. I feel like I'm sleepwalking with a goddamn hard-on.
Well, then why don't you just wake up?
Well, that's the plan.
I'm going to go over the hill right now, and if I never see you again ever, don't worry about it. I'm used to it. I'm going to go over to Jean's and get as drunk as I can.
Jewel,
What?
please don't go over to Jean's.
Fuck you!
damn noise.
You know? Well, over 50,000 miles of track lay unused in this country, right? Ain't that right, Sproles? Well, over 50,000 miles. Hell of a lot of back-breaking work gone to hell, huh? Where have you been, Larkin?
My car. Just driving. Will you get him out of here?
You just listen to his story.
Just listen to my side of it, kid.
Look, Jewel knows the truth, and that's good enough for me.
I know the truth of the Blue Devil. Let me tell you what happened.
I don't care about you, Sproles.
Sorry, man. Look.
All I can say is, I'm sorry, man.
It's
I
okay.
mean, we're friends and everything, and I don't want to lose him.
Yeah. So what are you going to do now?
Let's get out of here, man. I'll meet you in the car.
Great. I'm glad to see you're back, man.
Jewel. Goodbye, Jewel.